Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1 Round Robin. Today's matchup, Lunatic-Hai, EnVyUs.
All right, that's the kind of crowd I like to hear, Monte Cristo.
This place has
back.
filled up for the second match.
Man, the crowd is pumped, and why wouldn't they be? Lunatic-Hai versus EnVyUs here on Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1, and this is definitely one of the marquee matchups we've been looking forward to. Lunatic-Hai looking like undoubtedly right now the best team out of the Korean scene. They just took second place at APAC behind Rogue, and they looked so good through most of that tournament. EnVyUs, of course, an amazing team, went on an insane win streak over the early course of that team's career, and still looking strong, although, you know, lately things have been a little bit off for them.
Yeah, we know because we talked to EnVyUs after their last match when they played against Conbox T6 that they didn't feel that they were up to the level that they wanted to be. Didn't feel like if they had played that same night against Lunatic-Hai, then maybe they would have won. We did see some great play from them. We saw Harry Hook on the Tracer frequently, especially on Volskaya. But there were moments when we saw Taimu running the Widowmaker and then again the Harry Hook Tracer on point 2 on Volskaya, where it looked like they were sticking with the composition a little bit too much. Conbox T6 had been fanning out at the back, not really giving a good line of sight for the Widowmaker, and they sort of stalled out a little bit. They did end up winning that match pretty convincingly, but maybe not as convincingly as Envy fans might like.
Not as cleanly as the players would have liked either. I mean, they did say that in the interview, too, that they felt their play could have been a lot cleaner, and it really seems like teams like Africa Blue, teams like EnVyUs are kind of at a crossroads right now, where teams in an esport, in any esport, team or individual, that are very dominant early on, get to a point where other teams and players have caught up to them. And then, you know, it's up to that team to be able to sort of take things to the next level. And I feel like EnVyUs, although they're clearly much better than a lot of the teams, not only in this tournament but in the world, it's getting very close to the time where teams are going to catch up to these guys. And they're going to need to start treating things like that, right? And getting ready for that next step.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, that said, I think Envy actually has a very good matchup in the Lunatic-Hai, because if we look at the way that Rogue beat them, because remember, Rogue lost 2 best-of-3s to Lunatic-Hai in the group stage. They did not get first in their group. That was Lunatic-Hai. They met again in the finals, and Rogue had altered their strategy. And we heard Rogue talking at APAC saying, they weren't used to playing against the Koreans, the Korean style. They did have to make some adaptations. But for me, the most convincing map was when Tvik was playing Pharah. And Pharah was a hero that Lunatic-Hai struggled with because they're a team that can't very convincingly play both McCree and Mei at the same time. I think there are some limitations to Taejun's hero pool, and when he was playing the McCree on that map, they sort of panic switched at the end over to the McCree on Eska instead, and the Pharah from Tvik ran rampant. And Envy has one of the best Pharah players in the world in Tailspin.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, if anything, if you're EnVyUs and you look at some of these matches from Lunatic-Hai, there's some very clear ways where it looks like you might be able to exploit them. So, see if they do that. There are going to be today's map selections starting out once again on Nepal. And from there, the loser gets to pick the next map out of the available ones.
Yeah, and if we look at the weaknesses of Lunatic-Hai, which tends to be more of their DPS players, Eska and Taejun. Let's talk about their strengths, which is having some of the best tank and support players in the world. We've heard other pro players say it, Miro may be the best Winston player in the world. His Zarya is also considered widely one of the best. And we have Ryu Jae-hong, who has been absolutely amazing on the Ana. Yeah. So the surrounding cast is there, but is the DPS going to be good enough to overcome Taimu and Tailspin, and not only that, but Harry Hook when he goes on a third hit scan DPS as well.
It's tough to say, man. I got to give the edge to EnVyUs, I think, like anybody would coming into this, but Lunatic-Hai has shown they're certainly capable of playing with the best of them. There are the rosters, of course, and it's been interesting watching Lunatic-Hai over the course of the last few months in tournaments here in Korea and abroad. Because if you look at, Dean and Jaehong, of course. Jaehong, the famous Ana player now, but he and Dean kind of swap roles in terms of tank and support. Jaehong's such an amazing Ana player, but when they don't need the Ana for a composition, which is rare these days, to be sure, he will play tanks and Dean will be a support in general. So in the future, we might see a little bit more role swapping, but in this meta where Ana is useful in nearly every situation, going to pretty much see Dean on the tank and Jaehong on the supports here.
Yeah, Dean typically on the Reinhardt, and it is Miro that will swap between the Winston and the Zarya. Be sure, you guys are new to Lunatic-Hai, to pay attention to Miro's positioning. And there he is right there.
Yeah.
His Winston play, where he puts the shields, the places that he has found, especially on high ground, to use his Tesla gun and be able to hit people underneath him, I think has been quite creative. And he doesn't die. It's very hard to kill him. He will just jump out of the fray.
Well, that's the key to really, I think, playing Winston well, is to realize that you are not meant to just sit up there and take damage. You are meant to go in very selectively and disrupt the enemy team. Get them to scatter, dive into the back lines, and most importantly, get yourself out when you start getting a little bit low.
Yeah, just as a note, you guys, we are going to be calling Ryu Jaehong, and we are going to be calling Taejun, because those are their real first names, and we're just going to...
It's a real entire name.
It's a real entire name, so we're just going to cut off their last names and use their first names for the ease of broadcast.
That's generally what they're referred to as well in the Korean scene, which is, if you look at the history of Korean esports, that's kind of what they do when people use their full names as game ideas, or IDs rather. Moving on to EnVyUs, and of course these guys. Again, maybe a little bit dissatisfied with their play lately. It's been said in interviews and things like that, and they have looked a bit shaky here and there. But that said, still looking like a team that's strong enough to take on Lunatic-Hai or really take on anybody.
Well, and after I talked to Konbox T6 after their match against Envy, and they were frustrated because it's so hard to practice for Envy because nobody else has a player like Harry Hook, and they can run very different styles of single support, multiple DPS, single tank compositions that make it hard to strategize effectively or to play against any practice opponent that can actually duplicate the compositions that they are capable of using.
Yeah, EnVyUs have said in the past too, and we've seen it, that they do struggle from time to time on the assault map, so we'll have to kind of watch for that specifically as we move into set 3 eventually here in this best of 5, again starting out on Nepal, and we'll see where we go from there.
Nepal again. I'm getting a little sick of Nepal as our first map, though.
I am as well. We did see the one Lijiang Tower on Wednesday, but...
Where's EnVyUs, man?
It's out of commission, and apparently it's down for restoration. There are a lot of ancient ruins there that need to be preserved, so we got to be careful.
It is rude for them to fight in the ruins during that archaeological dig. It really just causes so much damage.
Yeah, man. I don't like to see that. And what I do like to see, though, is actually Reaper going down in pick percentage, because it means that the comps are becoming more varied. Fun stuff to watch. Let's get on to Nepal and see if Lunatic-Hai or EnVyUs will take the early lead in this best of 5. Time to get in the game.
Get it.
All right, welcome to the shrine, and apparently it's a shrine to elephants, I guess?
It's sure, Ganesh is a good thing to have a shrine to, Doa.
Yeah, Omnics love elephants, man. It's a known fact. Welcome to Nepal, Lunatic-Hai taking on EnVyUs. We've been looking forward to this one for a long time, and Taejun on that Roadhog, which we see him on pretty frequently.
I was not really a fan of his Roadhog play in the finals.
He loves it, though.
I know he loves it, but it wasn't my favorite hero to watch on. Hopefully he can have a bit of a better performance today, and actually we may be seeing something interesting here with Jaehong on the Zarya, and actually Miro playing the Reinhardt, so switching up the roles. Dean.
Well, Dean on the Ana, that's the real shocking thing. Is
that's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would be doing this, considering usually it'd be Zarya for Miro, Dean on the Reinhardt, and Jaehong on the Ana.
It's a bit surprising. Hero, a good Reinhardt either way, but we'll see how Dean is on Ana. That's the big question here as the teams start to run into each other. Tailspin on that Tracer, trying to get the back lines to be very annoying. Eska low right off the bat, gets a headshot on Tailspin. What a start. Eska certainly does have the aim, and he has the target apparently on his forehead as well. As Taimu takes him out.
Super low, but they've got the tankiness on the point right now. They're going to be able to heal up, so Taimu going to go down. Now, Envy was running a single tank composition with Coco on Zarya. So Tailspin on the Tracer, Internet Hulk interestingly on the Reaper. This is a very weird match for players playing heroes that they typically do not.
It definitely is, and EnVyUs right now seems to be suffering a bit for it, as Lunatic-Hai seems to be holding this first point pretty convincingly. Now, we have seen EnVyUs be easily the most flexible with who they have people playing on in their matches, and they have been very experimental, to be fair, in their last few best-of-5s, last couple best-of-5s. So seeing Internet Hulk on the Reaper is surprising, but not perhaps unprecedented, as they have liked to run that single tank lately. Coming in, he's got the Deadeye. There's the sound barrier. And Jaehong, I believe, was taken out there. Internet Hulk very, very low. Jaehong actually, never mind.
Yeah, he's going to take it out.
Doing the takedown.
Yeah, so Taejun, they're just going to back off the point. They're still holding on, and Eska hitting the shots.
Eska, the hero on this McCree right now, man.
So Envy needs to mix it up. Doa, I really think they ran this composition because they figured they could abuse the weaker DPS players of Lunatic-Hai and just sort of out-aim them, but it's not working. Eska has been wonderful on McCree in general. It's when you get him off the McCree that things start to, or can go wrong, or you force Taejun to play the McCree instead, but this time they're just so damn tanky. They've got so much health, and they managed to shut it down yet again. Dean getting close to a nano boost, and this is potentially Lunatic-Hai capping this point 100-0. They have a nice big ult advantage right now, Doa.
Well, they're very close, and you know, the rumors of them not being able to run McCree effectively seem to be not working out, as Internet Hulk down to just no hit points. Eska with that nano boost, looking for a kill through the sound barrier, pops that Deadeye, gets her on the back. He's a bit faster. Flashbang comes in. He doesn't get anybody with that. And 3 for Tailspin as he drops a pulse bomb. It's already back up to 42% actually. Man, that's fast.
Yeah, and they're actually going to manage to retake the point here right before it hits 99%, Doa.
Yeah.
So the Big Bang ends up working for them on the staircase, and they did a good job of hiding behind the column when the Deadeye came in. So Eska couldn't capitalize and get any kills on the backside of that fight, despite his good positioning on the flank. So good heads-up play there from EnVyUs, using the line of sight, but they've got a long way to go on this point.
Yeah, Eska a little bit low here. Gets healed up. 98% for Lunatic-Hai right now, so a good start for them certainly, as EnVyUs only sitting around 25 at the moment. Internet Hulk in the back gets the whoa, big Death Blossom after the nano boost, and that's a clean 4 kills for Internet Hulk. Tailspin cleaning it up as well. It's just very clean. That's what I'm getting out of this.
Yeah, big investment though, so great play right there. Does buy them time on the point, but they're going to need a lot more than that, as no real investment there coming through from Lunatic-Hai. Taejun going to switch over to the Tracer now for a little bit more backline disruption. See what he can do.
Well, it's high noon, and it's high time Taimu got taken out as Taejun grabs his first kill on the Tracer after the swap from the Roadhog. Now it's time to chase away that Zarya. Coco in a little bit of trouble as he gets even lower. Whoa, it's like the KR aim scene from the Bang 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 song. Tailspin, meanwhile, harassing quite well.
That's a big kill there, Doa. I mean, we're in overtime now, but they're starting to flood into the point. At least they bought themselves some more time. Internet Hulk switching up to the Winston.
Yep, and this is really his specialty as he tries to make a difference here. Miro with the nano boost. He gets low. Kills come in for Lunatic-Hai, and as they clean off this point, let's see if they can keep EnVyUs off it long enough for overtime to go away. It will, and Lunatic-Hai takes the first point.
Well, interesting compositions, Doa, coming out from both of these teams.
Yeah.
Lunatic-Hai maybe reevaluating their positional play and which heroes each of their players was going to go on, because that was a bit different from what we've seen from them traditionally.
Yeah.
With Dean on the Ana. Despite the fact that we've seen Jaehong be an absolutely amazing Ana player in the past.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that makes Lunatic-Hai so deadly, is that they can come at you with some of these changes here, but in a way, it was very classic as well, in that they did have Eska on that McCree, which he's so well known for, and he was in a situation where he could just play it. He didn't have to worry about filling any other roles for his team, and you really can see what he can get done on that hero when he's unleashed like that. Taejun on the Reaper now. Eska on the Mei as we move into
mirrored composition. So see, EnVy gonna get there a little bit faster. Nice fire strike through the members, but Mei wall goes down.
Coco and Taimu split from the rest of their team. Coco does get taken out. Taimu having to back away, gets the health pack. Taejun right there, gonna win that Reaper duel with a headshot. That shotgun doing work, and Jaehong pushing back already with this Zarya.
And they're gonna cut him off though, so they do have some time here to work down. But
okay.
that was, I mean, Coco just got way too far ahead of the rest of his team right there, isolated by the Mei wall. Once you get that first pick, it was all lights out from that point forward. Taimu hunted down in that Wraith form. Eska have to back off right now, try and get some heals on the other side. High ground taken by EnVyUs, but they're gonna need to drop.
Yep, gonna need to do something to take this point back. It's not panic mode just yet.
The walls are so good, Doa.
It really is, man, and this is why they have Eska play this Mei quite a bit. He's quite good at that. Jaehong with another one on the Zarya. He's powered up, and he is tearing apart this team. In the meanwhile, though, Taimu getting quite a few of his own. That's right, while protecting the team from that Zarya. Jaehong looping around the side as EnVyUs tries to take the point here on Nepal. Tailspin getting really low. Taimu comes to save him. Blizzard dropped as a desperation move, though.
That was a really good force out of the Blizzard right there. So even though Jaehong did drop his ult maybe a bit early from the Zarya, or a bit late rather, and try and just contest that point for as long as possible, they do bait out the Blizzard. Now Eska has one of his own for an attempt here at the retake. They also have, well, the Beyblade is there for EnVy though, and they've retaken their position on the high ground. They're going to be looking for this one. Will they check the corner? No!
Oh, they won't, and he gets in there. Huge ultimate for Tailspin. That nano boosted Reaper. It's Beyblade, man. It's Beyblade. This is what it does. And how many times have we seen teams get caught by the hidden Reinhardt, the hidden Reaper? Let's watch that replay. And yeah, looks about the same the second time. Reaper just destroying people.
Yeah, baiting him up onto the high ground there. So good position. Had a chance at either door to get the Death Blossom down, and they are still going to find themselves in a pretty big deficit here. Miro could not hit the Earth Shatter onto the Reaper in that last attack, so come through again. Split up initially, but
yeah, and they're going in. Taejun has to Wraith walk his way out of there a little bit. Gets the kill on the Internet Hulk, could be dangerous. Now he has the nano boost, going to use his own Death Blossom. Gets another one. It's in the Blizzard, and now going after Taimu. And Taejun really showing what he can do on this Reaper, and that's going to be a point retake for Lunatic-Hai.
Yep, get it back, 61% there.
Our Taejun.
Our Taejun, and that's the meme, right, Doa? You want to explain that one?
Yeah, well, I mean, in the Korean scene, Taejun is very up and down. He's like a roller coaster of skill, and when he's doing well, the Korean fans call him our Taejun, and when he's not, they call him your Taejun. Right now, he's our Taejun. He's doing okay. EnVyUs with the push on the high ground now. Miro has that Earth Shatter. And here we go, as EnVyUs nearly takes back the point already. Let's see how it works out. Miro gets a bigger shatter onto Coco. He's going to be in trouble. Coco goes down. Tailspin with a kill in response. So as EnVyUs not done quite yet, they take the point in the meanwhile as Tailspin dueling in the point, going to take out, get taken out by D. Never mind, it was a co-kill. Draw.
Perfectly symmetrical violence.
Double KO.
Good stuff there, and we are going to see the retake though from EnVy. The wall split not as effective as Lunatic-Hai would have liked. Took them a bit too long to clear out people on the opposite side of the wall, so EnVy able to break through with the damage.
Honestly, I like the swap over to Tailspin from EnVyUs. I think the Big Bang just so reliable in these situations, especially on this map. There goes the Pulse Bomb. Doesn't really take a chunk out of too many though. Graviton Surge now as Taejun comes in. They drop the Blizzard as well. They really want this point back. Now Miro gets two, Tailspin gets Jaehong, but it's still going to be Lunatic-Hai that looks like they're going to come out on top in this team fight.
Yeah, going to try and chase that Tracer down. Tailspin going to zip out, but that was a huge investment. Blizzard maybe not necessary there. One man Graviton Surge, so not the most efficient use of ultimates, but it does guarantee them at least the capture so they can play around it. Only the Death Blossom to work with here.
I mean, they had to take it back. EnVyUs was at 99%, so do or die, you kind of have to throw the kitchen sink at him too. Tailspin, a bit low as he moves out. Here comes EnVyUs. They've got that Pulse Bomb, but no other ults at the moment.
But they can wait for the Big
Bang.
Whoa!
Here comes the Death Blossom. Taejun gets one on Tailspin immediately. Tailspin immediately. It's fun being a caster, Monty. Earth Shatter from Miro. They've got the sound barrier to prop up that defense as well. And where's the follow-up on that Graviton Surge for EnVyUs? It is non-existent. They lost Tailspin so early. And in the end,
Coco's got to be a hero. He was nano boosted.
Yeah, they've got the Biotic Grenade down on EnVyUs now. It's going to be tight. There goes Coco. Jaehong with 2 kills. on that Zarya, and it looks like Lunatic-Hai may be able to take it, but both teams at 99% now, and
he gets
they
back
reactivated. Internet Hulk on the Winston again. He's on the point. Can hold out long enough, gets low, and here we go again, and that is it. Lunatic-Hai takes it with the 2-0 on Nepal.
Wow, impressive stuff there at the end. I really think EnVy could have waited just a little bit longer there, Doa. They were so close to having the Graviton Surge up and having an ult advantage, but I think they got a little bit impatient. But Lunatic-Hai, they also forced the issue with that Death Blossom. It got 1 kill, and that was enough for them to roll up the rest of the fight.
Well, that 1 kill was on Tailspin when he had his Pulse Bomb still available, and that completely shut down the only real play that EnVyUs had coming into that point.
That's right. Well, Lunatic-Hai coming back after their loss in the finals for APAC, their first match back here in their hometown of Seoul, and they're going to go up 1-0 in this best of 5.
Yeah. Nimbani will be our second match, just like in our first best of 5 as well. We'll see what EnVyUs can do to get themselves back into the series.
Excited to see what they're going to pull out on Nimbani here. This was the map, the only map that Lunatic-Hai won in the finals against Rogue. So
true. You know, and when we look at what Lunatic-Hai is running right now, I'm glad to see them switch Dean back to more of a support role and Jaehong back to more of a tanking role. That's what they were playing classically before Jaehong got really good on the Ana. But this is, I think, where they really shine, when they can use their 2 tanks in more of a tank capacity. See if they keep it up here on Nimbani. As we go into map 2, EnVyUs trying to catch up here. Let's see if they can tie this series. Time to get in the game and find out. All right, here we go. Map 2, Nimbani. And defense from Lunatic-Hai is showing us that they will stick with, well, actually, Taejin on the Roadhog. Okay, so running triple tank here.
Yeah, Miro, of course, loving that Winston. He will play on the high ground on this map, but he's the only one who's going to have easy access between the sides of the high ground with the leaps from the Winston. Otherwise, maybe a little bit difficult. We'll see where the Roadhog and the McCree position here.
Yeah. Now this is a map that lately Lunatic-Hai has always been using Jaehong on Ana on. It seems like he's just very comfortable on this map on defense with that Ana. Dean, of course, back on the Reinhardt, which he can play just fine.
It is interesting that we see Jaehong and Dean sort of switching back between support and tanks, because very few other teams will do that.
Yeah.
Looks like Taejin going to hang back right here and see if he can get a hook. McCree in a typical position with the Ana on the far side there, the longest high ground to get to. Miro actually going pretty far forward here. Wonder what he's going to be up to. And EnVy looking for the dives, Doa, Genji, and Winston.
I think this is, if you want the most probably solid way to approach Point A and Nimbani, it really seems like this dive comp is the way to go. They wanted to get a glimpse of EnVyUs, and they did, so Lunatic-Hai will pull back now.
Problem here is without the Reinhardt, you are susceptible to picks from the enemy Roadhog, but that's a shot onto Eska right off the bat.
Wow.
Whoa. Okay, well, Taimu going to get the big surprise hook right there around the corner, but they can't push forward any further right now.
We all are familiar with Taimu's ability on this Roadhog as he gets that hook. Internet Hulk diving in on the Winston, and they're going to try to fight this 6v5. Just going right in. Dean has a biotic grenade on him, so he will be not able to be healed as he gets lower and lower. There's a kill for Tailspin. Internet Hulk takes on the Reinhardt, and EnVyUs after a really strong start, although the kills start coming in for Lunatic-Hai now, so it's a pretty tight contest on Point A, but
wow,
overall,
nicely done by Miro there. Good play around the Winston shield from Eska, dodging in and out. Well, we saw the Genji coming through from EnVyUs Tailspin, trying to get those shurikens up, so they are going to hold firm right now. Envy hit a great hook right off the bat, but couldn't actually convert it into a first capture on the point.
That was a close call, but unfortunately for EnVyUs, Lunatic-Hai with a pretty big ult advantage right now. We'll see how long they can defend this. They're actually going to send Miro in a little bit early.
Hook.
Miro gets hooked. He could be in trouble trying to get out of there. Hops that Primal Rage immediately just to stay alive.
So that's one tool they're going to have left to not knock anybody off the point right now. Is Taejun still just standing behind the Reaper shield here, and there we go.
That Tailspin coming in with that nano boost with the Dragon Blade, gets one to Jaehong already, and now that the An is out of the way, Taejun kind of on his own on this Roadhog as they have to back away. EnVyUs with a very strong push, and after they take down Toby, which they do, they should be able to grab point A here.
Not only that, Toa, they use a few ults to make that work, 3, but have 3 remaining, so tools with which they can continue this push moving forward.
I mean, if you're
where Lunatic-Hai is going to go with this nano boost of their own.
Yeah. If you're Lunatic-Hai, you kind of just shrug at this point. You're like, well, all right, they took point A. We've still got 3 ults up ourselves. We can play a little bit more safely and concentrate on the point 2 defense now.
Taimu can be sneaky up high here in the hallways.
For big dude, Roadhog is pretty sneaky. All right, time to go for the Toblstein. Deadeye popped in response here. EnVyUs really trying to blow him up, and they do. Whoa, that works.
Taimu just coming through with the whole hog, and you drop down next to that. Zarya ultimate does an insane amount of damage if you're not getting the pushback from the whole hog. So easy take right there. Lunatic-Hai, they still have the nano boost. Taejun be moving over to the Reaper right now.
You know, I love this too. Oh, there's the hook. Oh, he does not get the Zarya though. Shield up just in time for Miro, but not enough to save him long term. And that Roadhog, especially on Taimu, is so good at pushing payloads just because you can move so far up. Get picks like that, and as long as that cooldown's available, it's hard to push in response. I think they put the nano boost, onto Dean. Trying to make something happen. Chips does go down as Lunatic-Hai fights back. Going now after Harry Hook. Charge misses. Lucio taunts you as he bounces away. But they do hold the point for the moment. They hold the payload, so the last lap does go to Lunatic-Hai for the moment.
Yeah, and they will have a nano boost on the other side to deal with right now. No real threat of the Big Bang yet, but Taimu at the Overwatch Open at the finals, he was this was really the bright spot for EnVyUs, was his amazing Roadhog play, and doing a wonderful job so far opening up these fights.
All right, nano boost onto Internet Hulk, it looks like, as they send the big monkey in. The sound barrier used by Lunatic-Hai to try to stay alive. Internet Hulk goes down before he can get any kills. Sound barrier, never mind. That's gonna be a big Deadeye. Eska with 3. And no Reinhardt shield to protect you, and everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead, Doa. They fell back, just counteracted everything Envy threw at them by using the sound barrier early. The Winston not able to do much right there, and also Tailspin maybe throwing out that pulse bomb a little bit too early. So Lunatic-Hai gets a lot of value out of their Lucio ultimate, and then they turn it around with an excellent combo from the Graviton Surge and the Deadeye.
EnVyUs on the outside looking in now. They're going to send Winston in again.
Here's Taejun with the Beyblade.
As the Death Blossom has the nano boost, and he is going down.
Great use of the Biotic Grenade, stops the healing coming on through. Tailspin working the flanks, but does get picked off by Jaehong.
No surprise at all, man. His aim on that Ana is just second to none right now. On board with Coco on that Zarya as he tries to get back away from Dean, but Dean very low. May have pushed a little bit too far ahead, but he's staying alive for the moment. Gets that Zarya shield in the end, and he's going to live long enough to be healed back up again.
Yes, he is. So he gonna pop out right now. Coco still has this Graviton Surge available, just trying to get some poke damage down. Using those Zarya ult clicks. EnVyUs in a very good position to push right now. Huge ult advantage, and they're going to use it.
Yep, trying to flank as well. Pulse Bomb comes in. Big Bang, not accomplishing a ton, actually. And not enough damage. And again, that sound barrier from Toby was just perfect.
Toby's been MVP of this match. Absolutely amazing. The timing on those sound barriers has been flawless. They have shut down the offensive ultimates from EnVyUs so well.
I mean, yeah, we see Eska getting all the kills, and he's a very impressive McCree player, but he would not be alive to get those kills if it wasn't for Toby's impeccable sound barrier timing on Nibani here.
Absolutely, and now we are going to see the Reinhardt come out. I think this should have come a little bit earlier for EnVyUs because they weren't able really to push through the shield that Dean was putting down, and they didn't have any way to match when it came to that poke with the shield up so consistently for Lunatic-Hai.
Lunatic-Hai on the verge of holding here on point 2, and that would be huge. Hook not landing from Taejun as he goes for one on that Roadhog.
Jaehong solo.
Away. That's right, Eska with the Deadeye. Oh, gets 2 with the nano boost and the hook. On to Internet Hulk on that Zarya. That is going to be it. That's it.
Well, Harry Hook's still there, but
yeah, not for long.
Harry Hook gets hooked at the end, and that's just going to be it.
1 point for EnVyUs on Nimbani. And Lunatic-Hai, man, they came to play today.
Absolutely. The combos, and this has been one of the strengths from Lunatic-Hai that we've seen. Their teamwork, their communication around ult combos has been among the very best in the world, and you see it time and time again there.
Yeah.
Great knowledge from Toby about when that sound barrier comes out, and Eska working so well with either of his tanks. It was either going to be the Earth Shatter coming down or the Zarya Graviton Surge, providing the CC to set up the Deadeye. Great teamwork, and that's going to be a very hard map, I think, for EnVy to hold. And they picked this one. They knew that this was the map that Lunatic-Hai, the only map in the finals that Lunatic-Hai took off of Rogue, and this was EnVy's selection. Harry Hook going to be on the Soldier. That's interesting for defense.
Yeah, we've seen it before from EnVyUs, and Tailspin looks like may stick with that Junkrat, so going for a lot of zone damage to try to just stuff this as it comes in. But I mean, if you watch a lot of Lunatic-Hai's VODs and you watch them, not just in APAC on this map, but in other tournaments previously, Jaehong, it just seems unstoppable on Nimbani. There's just something about this map and that character for him that you just don't want to chance it.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this Junkrat, though. Tivik did play some Junkrat, but it was on Anubis defense.
Yeah.
Junkrat, there's not... there are some choke points in here, but not quite so many. We saw Tivik run it. It was used to shut down Genji, but Lunatic-Hai has not been playing a lot of Genji recently, so hoping that the Genji's going to dash into your trap.
Yeah.
Probably not going to come through here for Lunatic-Hai, and I'm a bit worried about EnVy and what they're going to be able to do. Lunatic-Hai is going to be running the same old, same old. It ain't broke, don't fix it, but that's a lot of tankiness, and
that's right.
but they only have one dash with the Winston to get up onto the high ground, so at least the Junkrat spam can cover one of the entrances. Yeah,
but while that Reinhardt's distracting, then Taejun's getting the hooks on the Roadhog, so you gotta really be careful about having your attention split by this engagement from Lunatic-Hai. Coming to the top, yep, there we go. Tailspin loses that trap. Eska sees it right away, gets low, but he will stay alive for the moment. But yeah, they read that pretty well. They spotted the trap and took it out.
Well, it's really hard for the Junkrat when there's both a Winston and the Reinhardt shield to deal with.
Oh, boy.
Winston eats Junkrat alive.
That's what happens, man. Junkrat just can't do much against that Winston when he gets on top of you. Taejun with the kill onto Coco, and I think this is going to be a very fast point A take in favor of Lunatic-Hai. EnVyUs still with a few left.
It's hard for them to deal with a Soldier, Doa. When you have the hit scan Soldier on the high ground, it has to be Miro who does it, and he's going to fall. So it looks like EnVy's going to hold. So they read the Junkrat, but they couldn't quite power through the Soldier.
Yeah, that's the thing. At the end of the day, just like we've seen before, it's really hard to come at a Soldier 76 when he's kind of entrenched like that. Harry Hook's such a great Soldier player, and
they have to be careful. Rip Tire's up, and
yeah. That can be activated very fast now.
And they are sort of in a choke point, but they do manage to push through the doorway into the high ground. Eska doing the work. Here's the Riptire, Doa.
Up the wall, and doesn't get anyone with it, though. Thought more people would be up there, but they were not. Doesn't matter, though. EnVyUs still picking up those first kills initially. Eska needed to be careful there. Internet Hulk having to back away. Harry Hook got the nano boost, actually, and they've been trying to pair that with the Soldier 76 ult lately. Worked okay for the pushback, but Lunatic-Hai did take a couple out as well. It stopped the push, I suppose, but now Lunatic-Hai has an extremely strong next defensive push coming.
Well, it looks like what we didn't see there, Doa, was Internet Hulk reading the flank and then shoving several people off the map there with his ultimate. So maybe a clutch play, sound barrier down.
Oh, nobody with the Deadeye. Looked like he was going to grab a couple anyway. Had that nano boost, had the sound barrier, and kills coming in for Lunatic-Hai. Yeah, maybe enough. Yeah, you can walk around the outside. That's a tricky jump, but it's possible.
Wow, Eska going to get healed up too. Now he's onto Coco. Flashbang going to get blocked by the particle barrier.
McCree's a pretty agile cowboy, but
caught the trap, actually.
Cowboy. Yeah, that's okay. That was the wrong time to say that, I guess. EnVyUs with a couple kills here. Looks like they might be able to hold it. Roadhog versus Roadhog, but Taimu the one coming out on top, and Internet Hulk with the salute man. He's back in his position, and EnVyUs holds, but barely. 1 tick remaining for Lunatic-Hai. Only a minute to get it.
They've been very stubborn, Noah. They are not switching up their composition whatsoever, and sure they're able to get Tailspin multiple times, but haven't been able to deal with the Soldier. Harry Hook actually has switched over to the Tracer right now, so trying to double down on the defense.
Tailspin still on that Junkrat too.
He's going to die immediately actually to Miro.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, there we go. Tailspin gets a kill onto Dean, though. They're kind of looking for that. Nano boost onto the Winston, though. He got flashbang, but he's still very dangerous. Eska gets knocked away. He may survive. Internet Hulk has to back away. That was a close call for Eska.
Soldier back out now for Harry Hook, so
I like it.
I think it was working well enough before. He was on the opposite side of the high ground points that we saw Lunatic-Hai trying to take, and relatively clear just because Lunatic-Hai will not swap any of their heroes. They keep on trying to force it, Noah.
All right. Oh, he gets slept before he can get the Deadeye off, and that's going to be another hold for EnVyUs as they have 3 kills already. Taimu with that whole hog just for a little bit of extra insurance there. Maybe he didn't need that completely, but either way, now it's just down to 10 seconds left. It looks like EnVyUs may full hold here on Nimbani.
Tailspin is going to switch back again
That's it.
to the Tracer, but here we go, the final push.
Adine coming in. He gets onto the point right away. He's got that Earth Shatter too. Harry Hook on the high ground. They get the Graviton Surge. And where is the kills? There we go. Tailspin getting 2. Eska with only 1, but EnVyUs already with a great start here. Eska's going to need to be an absolute god to take this point right now, and he is not going to live long enough to do that. Miro kind of on his own on this Winston. Pushed off, and EnVyUs will full hold on Nimbani. Looked a little bit risky there. They only got 1 point themselves, but hey, they rose to the challenge and took the map.
I think this is one of those times where it's just incredibly annoying to play against EnVyUs, Noah, because they were constantly swapping back and forth with Harry Hook from Tracer to Soldier, Tracer to Soldier. So it's sort of, I think, mind game Lunatic-Hai a little bit right there, because then they'd see the Tracer, right? They're like, okay, they're going to play Tracer now. We're not going to switch to a composition that can really dive onto the high ground on the opposite side of the point. But then the Soldier comes back out, right? So, and Lunatic-Hai, they did not respond well against Rogue to surprise picks. They didn't respond well to the Pharah on King's Row. They didn't respond well to the Bastion on Nepal, and they looked a little bit thrown for a loop. But interesting play from Envy as they take that point, and I think Lunatic-Hai tried a little bit hard to just continuously force that same composition without switching it up.
That's right. So, see if there's a little bit more adaptation when we come back. Map 3 incoming. Lunatic-Hai versus EnVyUs right after the break. All tied up. We knew it was going to be a great series. Been delivering so far. So do not go anywhere, guys. Overwatch Apex will be right back.
사랑하는 파리하, 어머니란 딸이 더 나은 삶을 살길 바라지. 그걸 위해 싸울 수도 죽을 수도 있어. 난 너에게 사랑하는 이들을 지키는 게 가장 중요하다고 가르쳤지. 넌 영웅들 사이에서 눈부신 모험담을 가슴에 품으며 자랐어. 어느 날 넌 그들처럼 되고 싶다고 했지. 난 네가 다른 삶을 살길 바랐는데 너에겐 말 못했지만 사람을 지키려고 사람을 죽이는 건 가혹한 일이란다. 하지만 난 언제나 내 임무를 다했지. 그러던 어느 날 죽여야 할 사람을 죽이지 못했다. 난 망설였고 모든 게 바뀌었지. 내가 지켜야 했던 사람들이 목숨을 잃었어. 난 그냥 남겨졌다. 중상을 입은 채로. 세상은 내가 죽은 줄 알았어. 차라리 잘 됐다 싶더구나. 난 너무 많은 걸 잃었으니까. 난 수많은 친구들과 연락을 끊고 가장 가까웠던 이들을 마음에 묻었어. 많은 걸 잃었지만 난 알아. 아직 내가 지켜야 할 사람들이 있다는 걸. 난 싸움을 멈출 수 없어. 아직은 날 기다리는 사람들이 있는 한. 언젠간 네가 이해해 주길. 너의 어머니 아나.
노력은 선수를 만들고 코어 i7 프로세서는 멈추지 않는 파워를 드립니다.
And welcome back to the Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1. I'm Doe, with me is Monte Cristo as always, and we are all tied up between Lunatic-Hai and EnVyUs. Awesome set so far. Both teams looking pretty close as we move into Temple of Anubis. And New Bonnie was interesting because Lunatic-Hai held EnVyUs to 1 point, and we're like, oh wow, that's dangerous. But then EnVyUs pulling out some interesting stuff. Soldier 76 on Harry Cook, or vice versa rather, and getting the full hold on point A. So really competitive series so far.
Yeah, the Junkrat. And the Junkrat proved successful because basically the Winston was the only person who could dive the back line. And he kept picking to kill the Junkrat, but that meant that Harry Hook on that Soldier was basically just free-firing into their composition from across the point. So I think they needed a few more threats there that had the mobility, and they were stubborn, and they kept walking through that point where the Junkrat was spamming grenades, so maybe you need to mix it up.
Well, see what they've got on our next map, Temple of Anubis, all tied up here in our second best of the 5 of the night on Overwatch Apex Season 1. Let's get in the game and see who comes out ahead. and welcome to the Temple of Anubis. Battleground.
Temple of Anubis.
You love our announcer, don't you?
This voice, I don't know. I don't know, man. Well, of course, good old assault map. And RG Titan, well, actually has the quickest capture from point A, 47 seconds. That's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, it's actually interesting because they ended up losing that map in their first series, but regardless, fast first capture point for them. And
Warlocks everywhere, man.
EnVy going to go for a basically full tank composition here. Triple tank with a Mei. Low damage, high pick potential. Great survivability on the point.
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of that from EnVyUs in the past. A little boost for chips there to get him up onto the high ground. Meanwhile, some interesting stuff from Lunatic-Hai. Nope, switching back over. No Hanzo, no Widowmaker. Just trying to scope out the enemy team with that. Taejun on the Roadhog again. And
it's going to be Tank Wars, Noah.
That's right.
No real traditional DPS heroes going to be used. It's all about the picks and the Mei walls, isolating targets and whittling them down. So Sam's going to come through right here. Going to be slow moving on those Reinhardt shields.
Yeah, and we may have a bit of a standoff for a little while. Lunatic-Hai's going to have to come in sometimes. There we go, ducking into that right side hallway. Nice hook onto Taejun, gets very low. No healing for him, and Taimu picks up first one for EnVyUs there. That's going to be a hold as Harry Hook grabs another one.
I think Taejun needs to go to Reaper right now, Doa. Basically, he's losing the Roadhog Wars to Taimu, and needs something to deal with that.
They finally take down Miro, and Lunatic-Hai pretty horribly split spawn at this point because of that. Saw Taejun switch to the Widowmaker for just a second before going back to the Roadhog. And I don't know, you definitely don't want to do that. Widowmaker, you know, can get the job done on this map sometimes, but I think we're seeing a little bit of that indecisiveness that we saw from the
another hook, Doa. All right, well, at least the barrier was up that time, but the wall going to go down, and
they got Miro so low anyway, it didn't really matter. And how about another hook? Hello. Shield's gone now. So are you.
Wow. Well, they've got to have something. And at least when you have the Reaper, you can use the Wraith form to get out of it. If he doesn't have the hook down, you can dance around him and use his giant hitbox to get a bunch of damage down on the Reaper. But I just don't think this is going to work. And they need to find something else to deal with this, because trying to outskill on the Roadhog versus Roadhog is not something that I think Taejun's going to be able to do.
Not against a Roadhog like Taimu, that's for sure. Tailspin does have the Blizzard. There's the Earth Shatter. He's going to come down and probably drop it. Oh, he gets pinned, but he gets the Ice Block off just in time, I believe. Tailspin very low, but they're holding on. Taimu with the kill. Big Blizzards coming in from both teams, and somebody's got to move eventually. There we go. Kills coming in for EnVyUs, and they will hold this point.
Yeah, slightly later Blizzard there, and they're able to clean it up. No damage follow-up onto the Blizzard. That can be one of the more awkward things about using a Mei, this particular composition. And no swaps from Lunatic-Hai. They've pretty continuously been at an ult disadvantage here. And we're going to see that basically again. They may get the Roadhog ult up, but that's not the most impactful ult in Overwatch.
Maywall to try to cover the advance from Lunatic-Hai here as they get onto the high ground. Going for a different angle this time around. Miro does have that Graviton Surge to use, and they've got, of course, the Earth Shatter as well. So this is it. If this doesn't work, it's going to be pretty tough for them to take point A at all. Timed out last Biotic Grenade. That's on cooldown. Lunatic-Hai with a chance. Poking gotta go down. Here we go. All right. Coming down. We'll see what they can do. Hook misses for Taejun, though. That's big. An Earth Shatter. That's big for Coco. Good pin onto Taejun, and he's in big trouble as they back away. In the end, though, they try to turn around. There's a hook onto Tailspin, and Taejun actually stays alive and now starting to make a difference on this Roadhog. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at EnVyUs. Blizzard Pop, Nano Boost. Taimu goes down. Harry Hook gets a kill onto Taejun, but overall, Lunatic-Hai have found the success they were looking for, and it looks like they will finally be able to take point A.
Yeah, finally. Have 4 people on it, but they're still flooding in, and Hook is going to fall, so they're going to have to give this one up eventually. Reset onto the second point. Look dicey right there, but Blizzard doing enough work in conjunction with the nano boost in order for them to clear it, but it's going to be hard for them to transition this immediately into a second point capture with the ultimates they have available, and Harry Hook about to come up with a sound barrier of his own.
Well, if they want to do it, they just need to run in with the sound barrier and just brawl, and we've seen them be very good at that in the past, and they're going to try it once at least.
Tailspin has the Blizzard.
So Blizzard immediately used. They're going to wait it out. They did use the sound barrier, though, and a lot of that's going to be wasted by waiting out that Blizzard coming in now. EnVyUs a little bit held up. Earth Shatter, Miro still has a bit of sound barrier left over. Zarya gets a big Graviton Surge. EnVyUs trying to stay healthy, and they will enough to get a couple kills. Looks like Internet Home will go down, though. Miro staying up for the moment. Jaehong picking one up himself onto Chips-Hai, that is. And this is a long, extended fight here in point B.
They're not actually going to get much out of this as we see them come back up.
Wow, Dean, though, gets Ear Shatter onto the Roadhog. Taimu goes down, and Lunatic-Hai not done quite yet. Tailspin has to Ice Block just to stay alive, as that Nano Boost on Dean is doing a lot of work, pushing him back to spawn. Doesn't get the kills he was looking for onto Chips-Hai. But they may be able to claim this point here if they can survive this next defensive push from Hulk. There's a shield. It's going to go on the outside. Graviton Surge used immediately.
Oh my.
Earth Shatter comes in, and whoa, that is a big nano boost in favor of EnVyUs on that Reinhardt.
Wow, last second
That
hold
works.
right there for Lunatic-Hai. We did see Jaehong on the high ground right there on top of one of the columns, and that was actually his healing was the reason they were able to stay up there for so long. But what a combo. Great flank from the Zarya ult straight into a Reinhardt Earth Shatter on the backside.
They needed that, man.
They really needed that. That was incredibly clutch from EnVyUs.
They were about to lose that map, but good last-ditch effort fight. That said, Lunatic-Hai coming into this with a lot of ults up themselves.
They used everything for that final hold. They had to, but here we go.
All right, sound barrier on the Lunatic-Hai as they approach here. A kill for Eska right off the bat. Taejun gets one. He's moved over to that Reaper, and it looks like here is where they end it. Ice barrier as a Blizzard comes in for EnVyUs. That may buy enough time, but it doesn't look like it will. That's it. And Lunatic-Hai able to get both points on Temple of Anubis.
Wow, coming back with the big ult advantage. Managed to make it work on the other side. Blizzard not going to be enough there at the end, so that's going to be a nice actual push there. Really interesting that they could go into overtime on that first point and then bounce back. Looked a bit dire, especially they were talking about their stubbornness about switching out that composition. And
it was really about that extended fight as they moved into point B the first time. I need to go back and watch that later.
It was. I think so much of that was Jaehong because he wasn't under any threat that entire time. He built up the nano boost over the course of that fight and was just free healing into his team
he also
from the high ground. I'm not sure I actually got a win. I should say he got up there.
He did kill Chips-Hai during that engage as well at some point in it. And I think it's a combination of that and some other stuff that I need to go back and find later that let them hold on to that, or at least keep the fight going anyway. So now teams are swapped. Lunatic-Hai on the defense, and EnVyUs finds themselves in a little bit of a tricky situation here.
Yeah, some pretty good time to work with. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And 2 seconds left in the time bank. Not too shabby.
Yeah, it took them a long time.
Lunatic-Hai.
Yeah, it took them a long time to grab point A, but that point B take was very quick. Jaehong looking for a bit of a boost. He's going to get it. And time was starting out on the Reaper, so not going on the offensive Roadhog this time.
It's a difficult composition to play into what Lunatic-Hai has because you can focus so much damage. You know, if they run in there, the hook is there, the ice is there from the Mei, the Winston is there. You can't reflect any of the damage coming out of the Tesla gun as the Genji. So you could be focused down pretty quickly in this particular circumstance. Yeah. Lots of tanks generally strong against some of these dive compositions, and there's no Reinhardt here either to stop Taejun from getting initial picks.
Well, Taejun's going to need to get the picks. If he can't get the hooks onto Tailspin early on, it's going to be tough for EnVyUs. It's going to be tough rather for Lunatic-Hai as they try to defend here.
It's hard for Envy. They don't really have good poke here, and they can't build up Genji ult while the Reinhardt is there, so they have to go in. But if they go in, they can be very vulnerable to just the focus fire and the tanks.
Well, you see the Genji taking this side path that Tailspin did to get a little bit of damage going, already halfway up to that ultimate as he pops a reflect and backs away. A little bit low, but he does make it out. Taejun, meanwhile, helping his team pick up a couple kills on EnVyUs as they back off.
But look at Jaehong. He's already at 90. There it is. Nano boost done. Chips-Hai at 26% right now. And that was a lot of Miro. Miro was clogging the choke point right there with the Winston. placing down that shield and just getting healed up for free the entire time.
Yeah.
Easily jumping back out, so Tailspin looking for the angle around the side of the Reinhardt shield right now.
Yeah,
a little bit of damage, but he finds Miro.
You got to watch out for that Winston. That'll get you every time if you're the Genji.
Yeah, they had to stall out their push too because Taimu was on the side. This Reinhardt shield is so effective against what EnVy's running.
Lunatic-Hai holding strong for the moment anyway. Eska has that Blizzard as well. Taimu getting a little bit low on the Reaper,
Nice
and he's
wall.
cut off from his team. He's going to be in big trouble here, you think. Taken for a ride, it looks like. Meanwhile, Eska falls back to defend point A. Going to force Internet Hulk out of the fight. Meanwhile, Dean, way in backlines, takes down Taimu. And it's going to be another one fight for Lunatic-Hai. You know, they saw Taimu coming in on that Reaper. They didn't want to take any chances. Dean just took him way away from the point and finished him off in the 1v1. Blizzard used by Lunatic-Hai. Wow.
Oh, no.
He fat-fingered that one big time.
Yeah, that's Eska, buddy. That's a huge mistake. Right as they're going to come in with the Nano Blade combination that may have been crucial for a late hold on to the point.
That could be really bad. All right, the defense a little bit more tenuous now as Tailspin comes in with the Dragon Blade, gets one onto Dean. Eska gets a kill on the Harry Hook, so Lucio is out of commission. Tailspin gets another one, though, as EnVyUs moves in onto point A. There's a nano boost onto Miro now on that Winston. Taejun back up again as we move back to the point. People dropping so fast on both sides. And for now, Taimu's still alive, but barely. No, he goes down before he can use that Death Blossom, and Internet Hulk gets one of the backlines. He's got the sound barrier. Looks like EnVyUs may have what they need to hold point A. Yeah, they will.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to try and reset. Dean going to go down, but he's going to have a chance to respawn. They're actually trying to delay this point pretty significantly.
Wow, this is really brave from Lunatic-Hai because if they lose the point now, they have a very good chance of quickly losing point B.
Yeah, Miro going down right there, but they still haven't capped it yet, so fortunately for Lunatic-Hai, they will have a chance to reset here, but they gave a pretty good amount of charge over there. Taimu running Vanguard right now, trying to scope out the point while the rest of his team comes in. They only have one ult on either side, and that's going to be the Death Blossom for Taimu.
And not a ton of time for Lunatic-Hai to set up on their defense because they committed so much to point A. It's good for EnVyUs. Blizzard used Lunatic-Hai, able to finally take down Taimu, and that may be the end of the push. Yeah, EnVyUs pulling back for the moment there. Tailspin kind of on his own. EnVyUs actually spreads out around the point. They went back in again.
Nice pin.
Taejun goes down. Yeah, good pin. There's a pulse bomb. Catches Dean. And EnVyUs not really getting any time on this point just yet.
Tailspin is just free firing here. Finally, the Nano Boost comes out again onto Miro.
Yeah, they have the sound barrier though for EnVyUs, so they'll continue. And wow, Taimu taken out of the fight immediately as he pops that Death Blossom. Only gets the kill onto Toby. It's such a long fight on point B. Yet another one in this map. But surprising, actually. Miro, he gets the kill onto Taimu. Scientist, fist to the face.
He just one-man shut down Taimu there, bouncing him out of the fight, using the Primal Rage, and then excellent positioning around the Winston shield to outplay him, blocking that damage and finishing him off.
Wow, that was very close. EnVyUs will be coming into this next push with a bit of an ult advantage, but big difference between Lunatic-Hai's offensive round and EnVyUs is that EnVyUs didn't get any ticks on that one.
See if they wait to use this Nano Boost or not.
All right, well, Pulse Bomb comes in. It's the big bang.
Sound Barrier going to block it.
Yeah, went down just in time. Taejun, though, popping that ultimate for Reaper. Doesn't get a whole lot done. Taimu, in response, gets two with his Death Blossom. Blizzard, though, protecting Lunatic-Hai for the moment, anyway. And they will try to sustain. Man, the fights have been so close, but Lunatic-Hai holding on. And again, the big thing is that EnVyUs hasn't been able to get a single one of those ticks on the point.
Yeah, Taejun, too, on the Reaper. They are trying to match Reaper for Reaper right now. Miro lurking up in the rafters here of the temple, trying to find an angle onto the back line if they rush the point. He's got his Primal Rage up, and he's probably going to get that Ana ult again because they really have been favoring that ultra-powered Nano Boost onto the Tesla gun for maximum AoE.
His positioning has been so sneaky. He's going to go on to EnVyUs as they try to come in. Nice May wall to split the EnVyUs team in half. Coco going down already, courtesy of Taejun. And they're just going to push EnVyUs right back. And I believe that's going to be it for the push. Harry Hook nearly with his sound barrier, though, so they can play it a little bit slower here.
They can. Have to. They don't have any other ultimates, and Jaehong did not actually pop the nano boost right there. So they held their tools, they got the initial pick, didn't overcommit with ultimates.
Miro still lurking above. Gorillas aren't supposed to be that high up in the air, are they? There we go. EnVyUs coming in again. Taimu trying to break his way through that wall as he was held up a bit. Earthshatter comes down, big one onto Lunatic-Hai. EnVyUs trying to make their way in here. Taimu gets the first kill of this one. Coco very low, can't get to the health pack in time. That's big. Taimu still at that Death Blossom, gets Earthshattered, gets taken down, and Lunatic-Hai winning this fight handily. Nice pin on the Internet Hulk from Dean, and they will hold.
And right now we're down to a minute 30 left, Doa, so
yeah.
time bank definitely in Lunatic-Hai's favor. And they're ticking down into that sub 60-second territory where they're going to get even more time back on the other side. But the Beyblade's ready. This is the shot Envy has right now.
They're winding
Nothing
up right now, man.
on the defense, although we will see a counter Death Blossom from Taejun at the moment, but no sound barrier to protect against this. Taejun's going to try for a little bit of a Hail Mary here. Can he get behind the Reinhardt shield? Can he surprise them? Can he lurk and get a pick on the backside? Nobody's there. Nope. They're split up on opposite sides. Harry gets slept. Oh,
no! That is big, and he's going to go ahead and use that Death Blossom right away as the Blizzard comes in. Kills though for EnVyUs. They may have found an option despite losing Harry Hook so quickly here. This might be what they were looking for. They get the first tick. Toby goes down. They get the second tick. Can they get the last one? We will see. Dean coming back in on that Reinhardt. Coco has the Earthshatter. Use it from the side. Frozen Reinhardt taken out. Lunatic-Hai so close to losing this point B. As EnVyUs tries to even things up, Taejun walks back in on the Reaper, gets a few, and Lunatic-Hai holding strong again. Miro in the back lines with that Primal Rage.
Everybody off the point right there.
Yep.
Taimu's low. He's playing around the shield again, and he gets him. Wins the 1v1, and there it is. That's going to be us ticking down into overtime right now. Envy, they've got time for maybe one more, but the Death Blossom's still here. Taejun looking for the drop.
Yeah, he's going to get it. This is going to stop them cold, man. 2 already for Taejun, and EnVyUs has no chance. Lunatic-Hai will take Temple of Anubis.
What a great series this is turning out to be, though. So close. You can see how hyped up Jae-Hong is in the back right there. And wow, really good final hold. Coming in from Lunatic-Hai, Miro just zoning everybody off the point and splitting him up with the Primal Rage, knocking them straight out the temple door. Lunatic-Hai goes up in this series 2-1.
Wow, and yeah, this series absolutely delivering here as we move into our 4th map. We'll have to see what EnVyUs has in mind.
Will be a payload map, so we'll see if they want to, not a hybrid map, pure payload.
Yeah.
So it will be Dorado or Route 66.
EnVyUs did win our other payload map of the night so far. They did take Nimbani. Mostly off of their strong defense. They got that full hold on point A. It will be Dorado for EnVyUs.
I'm really curious. Lunatic-Hai has not shown very much versatility when it comes to hero usage tonight. But they've been stubborn, but if they feel comfortable at running these compositions and can get their ultimates off together so well then.
Yeah. Oh, definitely one of the best triple tank teams out there, and you know, they're really showing us why. But Dorado is really a map that EnVyUs has a lot of past success on. We'll see if they can channel that to a tie series and force us to map number 5, or if Lunatic-Hai closes it out right here. Time to get in the game and find out. Time to get the new reactor core to the reactor.
And this is what I wanted, Doa. I wanted the Pharah. I wanted the Pharah on this map. I think that has been the hero that we've seen make Lunatic-Hai very uncomfortable. Again, they have struggled. When Taejun has had to play McCree while Eska's on the Mei, when we saw them play in the finals, Tivik ripped them apart. And this is, Lunatic-Hai is running the same composition yet again. And they don't have a lot of good long-range damage outside of landing one of those hooks. There is no McCree here for the long-range hit scan. And I think this is where you pull out the Pharah.
It certainly seems to be. It's a good map for it. And of course, EnVyUs foregoing the Mercy, as we see done pretty often lately. Eska, no, you're supposed to hit the pinata with a bat. You're not supposed to shoot it with
Reinhardt
an icicle.
is obviously the one who should be swinging away at those pinatas.
Seriously, yeah. When are we going to get the baseball Reinhardt skin where he has like just a big bat and then his shield is like a big catcher's mitt? Just a big glove?
That sounds horrible.
Awesome. I know you meant to see. You accidentally said horrible. I think you meant awesome there, but.
How would you make his shield a giant glove in that shape, Doa?
It's really wide. He's got a very wide hand. Don't ask me these questions, man. It's not my job. That's Blizzard's design team. I just come up with the great ideas as EnVyUs starts to push here, and they've got that Pharah. We'll see how Lunatic-Hai responds. Posting up in the normal defensive point, and the Pharah is really good at dislodging teams from that, and it will early on.
It's just trying for some lucky rockets there. Peeking on through, and gonna try and go for the flank right now around the backside, and Taimu actually is gonna get right in there behind the Reinhardt.
Wow, super aggressive. Gets the kill onto Dean as EnVyUs keeps pushing here. Good start. There goes Miro, both tanks down, and when Lunatic-Hai loses both of their tanks, they're gonna have a hard time, man. There goes Toby.
Yep.
And it looks like EnVyUs going to cruise to a pretty smooth point A. That is a nice kill for Jaehong after Taimu got hooked. But Tailspin going to follow up with 2 of his own. And yeah, there goes Eska. And it should be, like I mentioned, pretty easy point A take. And look at this, Tailspin already forcing Lunatic-Hai back again. And here's where the Pharah comes in really good, because teams like to set up on that bridge. And Pharah is so good at just bouncing everybody off of there and ruining it.
So this is already different from what we saw them do in the finals against Rogue, where Eska is just going to switch over to the McCree. We're not going to see McCree and May together with Taejun on the McCree, and Taejun's going to stick onto the Roadhog for now as they go onto the high ground. But they had to make that switch. They make it faster this time.
And they should. We know Eska is a much, much better. Okay, there's a nano boost onto Pharah. We'll see what they can pick up with it. Taejun getting a bit low. One body shot to him. Another one might do it. I think the nano boost, about to run out, so not a lot achieved by Tailspin there, but Eska does get a kill onto Internet Hulk. So Lunatic-Hai starting a bit of defense, but there's a barrage onto Taejun, gonna turn it over there, and that, well, it could have been better. Taimu gets one himself. EnVyUs keeps the push going for the moment, though.
That's the big story here, Doa, is that it was just a distraction on the high ground. Sure, they trade the Pharah out, but Pharah did help out, get 3 kills, and the payload never stopped moving. So the push keeps going. They're getting a very fast time because Lunatic-Hai has not been able to get into the low ground at all to actually contest, because they haven't been able to drop down because the Pharah has been covering the bridge so well.
They have no real, well, so far they've got the McCree, but it hasn't been able to answer the Pharah yet. Graviton Surge used, and Lunatic-Hai trying to get some sort of defense.
Surprise charge, wow.
Whoa, I don't think Coco was expecting that. Reinhardt, hidden Reinhardt is the deadliest. And it looks like Lunatic-Hai will finally get some sort of stabilization, and they've got a nice ultimate bank as well to fall back on.
Yeah, but high ground still easy here for Envy to take with Pharah and Winston. Everybody going to be running up around the side.
Taimu.
That's Tailspin.
Tailspin. I saw a T and I was looking at a different part of the screen.
The only American on the, what people tell me is an NA team. I'm pretty sure that means they're an EU team, guys. They have 5 Europeans.
It's kind of just the NA League of Legends team philosophy, right? Let's fill it with Europeans. Some Koreans here and there. Eska very low. His Internet Hulk goes deep. Wow, Coco gets taken out there, and Lunatic-Hai with 2 already. Right off the bat, Taejun pops a whole hog, and he is going to take out a couple. Looks like EnVyUs going to have to reset now. Wow. Takes out Tailspin with a long-range spread there. And yeah, Internet Hulk not going to live through that one.
Good right clicks, but Envy probably expected to lose that one. They were at a pretty severe ult disadvantage coming in. Tailspin got to move over to the Genji now, try and get in the face of the back lines.
Yeah. I mean, you do see some teams holding onto the Pharah through point B and then swapping once they get towards the reactor core a little bit closer, but there's certainly plenty of arguments for moving onto the Genji right there. You can still put pressure on that high ground, and it should be fine. And EnVyUs, I think, does need to switch things up with that McCree now. Eska gets the nano boost, looking for something. Nano boost on the Internet Hulk in response, though. Pops that Deadeye, going for a kill, and the monkey gets one onto Tailspin, though.
To finish him off. Difficult, though, with a flying roll range. That'll be a jump on top of him. Chips high, and in the meantime, gets the heels up onto Internet Hulk. Internet Hulk goes on a mission over the edge. Farewell, everybody. Reset here for EnVyUs.
Yep. I keep calling Winston a monkey instead of a scientist. I feel very bad. I know he's sensitive to that.
It's all right,
You
though.
can be both.
It's okay.
Well, technically he's a gorilla too. So I'm double wrong there.
Let's call him an ape.
Well, gorillas are apes.
Exactly.
I'm not an ape. Well, I am an ape, but I'm also a scientist. I'm an ape scientist.
Technically, aren't all scientists monkeys of some sort, primates?
I suppose you could make that argument. Graviton Surge comes in. Lunatic-Hai with another looks to be successful defense as they do take down Coco. After a couple more kills, Miro powered up. And that Zarya. And, you know, people like to talk about this guy's Winston play, and for good reason, but he is certainly a standout Zarya as well.
Interesting. Tailspin going over to the McCree. Almost something that we never really see on Tailspin compared to Taimu, who is known as an excellent McCree player. But they really, I guess, want to try and take some long-range shots here at Lunatic, but they're running out of time, though, and there are nearly 5 ults now as the Nano Boost gets close onto Jaehong, and EnVyUs got nothing, and Tailspin gets hooked.
Yeah, that's right. Tailspin goes down early on. They didn't want to switch Taimu after Reaper because he's so close to that Death Blossom, but when are they going to get to use it? Sound Barrier comes down onto Lunatic-Hai. Eska saws that Deadeye, doesn't need it. There goes the Internet Hulk, was playing that Reinhardt, and easy headshots onto Coco, and EnVyUs looks like they're going to be possibly stalled out right here. Fan the hammer right into Lucio's face. And another hold from Lunatic-Hai.
And they had to use 2 ults, just 2, so they've got a few remaining left over here. The nano boosted Deadeye. Eska going to set up for it on the far side, trying to hide for the moment as they want the big wombo. Coco here.
This is one of those situations where I think you can make an argument for switching somebody off the Reaper, even though he does have the ultimate up. It's just not a great point to use it on.
They have the Zarya Beyblade, so if they can hit a big combo, but I mean, they're not put together right now. It's going to be hard.
Oh, the spread out is really good for Lunatic-Hai. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Nano boost, Deadeye. Another one for Eska as he runs in with the headshots, and that's going to be a hold. And as overtime runs out, it looks like EnVyUs is going to have to be satisfied with 1 point on the map they picked. Offense on Dorado not going so well for the NA squad.
I like the adaptation we saw, Doa. They crumbled with the Pharah against Rogue in the finals. They took too long to switch Eska over to the McCree. This time, okay, they lose the first push, but it's immediate. They abandon the Mei immediately. They keep the Roadhog hooked there in case the Pharah gets too close. They're able to stabilize at the second point, build a pretty substantial ult advantage, and that will take them to just 1 point down on Dorado. But we saw them in this position on Numbani, and they couldn't make it work, so.
That's true. It was exactly the same, and in that case, EnVyUs did hold them on point A, but there's a big difference between a point A hold on Numbani and a point A hold on Dorado. It's much, much easier to get that full hold on Numbani.
But Lunatic-Hai has been heavily favoring compositions that don't control the high ground very well.
It's true.
Few movement abilities, not really wanting to play Genji here. So they're going to go for a pretty heavy tank composition. It appears, but we'll see what they end up settling on. EnVy going to be going pretty standard stuff. Mei, Reinhardt at this big choke point right here. Very good combination of heroes to wall off one of the very few entrances into the market.
Going single healer as well. They've been experimenting with this a bit. And you can go with that single Ana if you do have a lot of other hard-to-kill heroes, like basically everything else EnVyUs has.
Interesting to see Harry Hook on the Roadhog, too.
I mean, I think they really just want to keep Tailspin on the Mei, which he's great on. Taimu is a great Reaper. And
I would have thought, just for ease of use, because Taimu is so good at that Roadhog, maybe you put Harry Hook, considering that he's used to playing short-range hit scan heroes, like maybe Tracer. It's a bit interesting. We'll see how he does.
I mean, it's hard to nail it down with EnVyUs, right? I mean, all their players seem to be so versatile in terms of what they can play effectively that it's better to just never be surprised with what EnVyUs pulls out.
Will be big-time tank line here for Lunatic-Hai. And
this is an all-in point A defense from EnVyUs. We're going to see swaps if they lose point A quickly. This is either going to work great or it's going to probably fail pretty quick.
We got to watch out for Taimu. Where is he right now? He's actually behind the shield, so not going to be looking for any type of flank early on, and they're going to push the payload through and then try and take a fight from the high ground.
Yeah, Lunatic-Hai just running up on that high ground, trying to come in from behind, actually. There's the wall to block their advance. They get around into the market just a little bit. Taejun with the hook doesn't land it, though. Harry Hook a little bit low himself. Miro does go down, so now it's a 5v6. as the brawl begins. There's a Blizzard immediately coming out from Eska. We'll see what they can do with it. Coco does go down, Taimu with the kill, but Eska with another one, really cleaning up. There's the headshot onto Harry Hook. And this is exactly what Lunatic-Hai was looking for. They did lose people in the background. It still did end up being a fairly even fight.
Yeah, they couldn't keep the payload moving,
Wow.
unfortunately, as they wrapped around. So, bit of a reset. Miro going to come in here, try and save Eska, who managed to work his way into the back line, stay alive with the ice wall and the ice block. But, man, Jae-Hong somehow got into the back lines onto the enemy Roadhog to prevent him from healing, and that was huge.
Dean's got that nano boost now on the Reinhardt, and he's going to try to push apart EnVyUs. Nano boost onto their Reinhardt as well. Earthshatter not too effective, and it looks like EnVyUs should be able to hold this for a moment anyway. Yep, there goes Dean in the end.
Tracer there for Harry Hook, so they're going to, or for Tailspin rather, so they are going to come on through.
Yeah.
Or for Harry Hook, excuse me, and they are going to come on through and clean that one up. So they just can't keep people on the payload long enough to actually push it.
So close, though. So close. Harry Hook switching over now to that Tracer, so deciding they can't get enough done with Roadhog. And I think the harassment from the backlines is going to be effective. There's not really anything besides a Roadhog hook on Lunatic-Hai that handles a Tracer pulse bomb already.
Wow, they used that even though the ult from Zarya was about to come up, but here's the response.
Well, getting Eska is big. Taejun has that sound barrier now. He's going to use a whole hot, pushing back the nano boost at Reinhardt. Meanwhile, though, EnVyUs comes in with a big Blizzard combo, and that is going to be another hold. Toby manages to get a kill for the bloodthirsty support in all of us, but it's a bit of a consolation prize. Lunatic-Hai held yet again.
I think they got baited in there by the pulse bomb, though, because they threw it out, and I guess that Lunatic said, okay, they don't have the pulse bomb anymore. They can't hit us with the combo with the Zarya ultimate, but there was still the Death Blossom there, and we saw, and of course, the Nano Boost onto the Reinhardt. So many more tools.
Oh boy, that's going to be a good pulse bomb. Potentially gets Jae-Hong. Nana, well, she's kind of a Nana. It's a grandma anyway. Anna out of the way, as Harry Hook backs away successful, and everything falls apart. EnVyUs just cleans up the rest of Lunatic-Hai. And when you lose a crucial hero like Anna, immediately that push is kind of over.
Jae-Hong dumped the Nano Boost too, which is a big part of what could have made their next push successful. Instead, they're gonna have to work with basically just an Earth Shatter right now. Harry Hook slowly building up his charge.
I love this from EnVyUs, just all-out defense on point A. It's really do or die for them. And so far, they have been doing. 29 seconds left. Lunatic-Hai with maybe one good push here. And Maywall blocks a lot of that, just buying more time. We're down to 20 seconds now for Lunatic-Hai to try to come back in, as we may be going to map 5. Eska throws in the Blizzard. This is it. They need to take point A.
Huge
they need
kills.
to keep it going, and they will. They will push it forward. The payload went far back, but it looks like they're going to clean up EnVyUs cleanly. What a combo. Able to use that Earth Shatter, able to use that Blizzard as well, and that will be point A. EnVyUs nearly getting the hold they were looking for, but just not able to hold on in the end.
Close, Doa, close. We've seen Lunatic-Hai prevail in overtime a couple of times on these first points in these maps so far, and they've managed to take it to a 2-1 series, but it's been a bit dicey, and they don't have anything to take the high ground. Tailspin switching over to the McCree. Taimu close to that Death Blossom, so doesn't want to go over just yet. And the big change there, Tracer from Taejun at that point, and he's going to go for the bomb. He's got to get it. Not going to pick up the kill, though.
Yeah, Coco healed right back up. Harry Hook, of course, did switch back over to Lucio. You know, like we were saying, EnVyUs, pretty obviously going to go back to a pretty normal comp after they lose that point A, which is what they did. Taimu with the Death Blossom now. We'll see what he can get done with it.
Looking for the drop down, but no Beyblade, no Nano Boost, but that'll help.
Yeah, Graviton Surge, Earth Shatter. They're going to drop everything here, and that is a pretty big wipe in favor of EnVyUs. Now the question is, will Taimu stay on the Reaper, or will they swap things up a bit? Tailspin has half that Deadeye, but it builds up so fast that you could swap right now, but I think they're going to stick with it for the moment. Yeah, they will.
Good job there from EnVyUs on the drop down. Can be dangerous to drop your Reaper in there when he doesn't have the damage reduction from the Nano Boost, but combination of the Biotic Grenade just gets enough anti-healing and CC to finish off the kills.
This is scary though for EnVyUs. Not too much farther is Lunatic-Hai from victory here, and this would be the match win. They're going to pop the Graviton Surge. Taimu gets the kill into Taejun, but Chipsayan goes down immediately. Coco with a kill of his own. Miro just trying to salvage something.
Eska has the nano boost, but he can't find it. He finally gets time move. Nice.
Internet Hulk went down too. They may still be able to make something work. There's a Deadeye. If they can get the McCree or the Reinhardt out of the way here.
Tailspin is somehow in the back.
That's what Miro's behind
Miro.
him, actually.
How did he get behind him right there?
It does it well. I mean, he was able to cut through the bank, it looks like, I think. And they may be able to do it right here. Deadeye looking for it. He's got a Reinhardt in the face. Eska needs to be careful, and they're going to take it. Lunatic-Hai with the 3-1 victory over EnVyUs.
Wow, huge right there. And that means Envy may not take first place in the group. Still a shot.
Wow.
But now with a head-to-head win, basically, if we can see Lunatic-Hai take another match, they will be in prime position to move out of this group in first place. So huge win there for Lunatic-Hai as they come through. Well, and you could see the adaptation, though. You could see how they changed their play from their loss to Rogue. They played better against the Pharah. On Dorado this time around, were more adaptive, and perhaps they have those limitations in their compositions. Perhaps they were a bit pig-headed at times, but if you can execute on your ultimates well, you can make it work.
If that pig head is getting hooks, that's totally fine, right? But the thing is that we've said it going into this match, that the Lunatic-Hai that we saw in the finals of APAC against Rogue is not the Lunatic-Hai we're used to. They played much better in the rest of that tournament, looked very nervous, a bit of the finals jitters maybe in that one, beaten pretty soundly by Rogue, but here they are back in Korea looking very, very tight and taking the win over EnVyUs.
Envy not out yet. They will finish the group stage 2-1 with, one would think, a very likely probability of heading into the quarterfinals. It'd be barring some tie-break scenario, seems almost assured, or a massive choke from Lunatic-Hai against some of the other teams in the group. What
a cliffhanger to end Apex League before BlizzCon, before our BlizzCon break, man. With that match between Lunatic-Hai and EnVyUs, that was a fun one. 2 fun matches tonight, actually.
Very, very fun indeed, Noah.
Lunatic-Hai too. I mean, a team you really have to play differently against than other teams because their tanks are not only good positioning-wise, but they're able to put on more damage threat than the tanks on really any other team I've seen right now. So it's just what do you do against these guys? Well, there's ways to pick them apart, but they offer so much uniqueness in terms of how you have to approach it.
They really commit to Miro, too. So many times on this map, we saw the nano boost being saved for the Winston. They have a lot of faith that he's going to be the one able to get into those back lines and deal the damage, and he executed well. So
that's what we saw. Saw Miro cut through the bank on Dorado, come in behind EnVyUs, and that was the end of it.
Very nicely done. So a big win for Lunatic-Hai. Came off their loss in the finals, but they will start their run in Season 1 of Apex in style with that 3-1 victory over Envy.
Yeah, that's right. Going to be fun to see them as the season continues here. Big cheer from the crowd as the hometown heroes. Lunatic-Hai take the win, and some question marks about EnVyUs going into the break. Some of these guys are going to be headed to BlizzCon as well, so the practice situation may not be ideal for them over the next couple weeks.
Well, Lunatic-Hai is, they're going to be sending their own guys over, so
true. But
we've got the Korean team will be it's true. The Korean team will be composed of members of Lunatic-Hai, Africa Blue, and Zunba from Konbox T6.
Yeah, that's right. And I would say, out of this match, to me anyway, I would maybe pick Eska as the overall MVP. His play on McCree was just so good. We're going to see some of it right here. I mean, it was a team effort, absolutely, from Lunatic-Hai. A lot to be said about most of these guys, but in the end, in my opinion, Eska was the guy to choose.
It's one of those times, though, where you wonder if they got a little bit too cute, like keeping Taimu on the Reaper when he's definitely the best McCree player on his team, and yeah, you do that for ult reasons sometimes, but
they did it on point 2 on Dorado, though, where you really have to work so hard to get the enemy team into a point where you can properly Death Blossom, and that. So like I said, that's one of the rare points where I would really consider switching off the Reaper, even though you've got that ult built up.
Fair enough. Well, taking a look at some of our highlights here from Numbani, a point where saw Envy able to full hold. Eska,
bang, bang, bang.
Taking him out. It's sundown, as they say in Korean.
Right. It's high down.
Yeah, it's just a different time of day in Korea than it is in the rest of the world, pretty much. This was cute by Eska.
Yeah, you can take that tricky route around the outside if you get the jumps just right. We saw pretty epic jumps made around the edge of the map and seen pretty epic jumps epically failed around the edges of maps today. Exciting day overall.
Was great.
Yeah, it was
great. I like the strategies that we saw from RG Titan in game number 1. Rogue.
Not bad. That was a pretty good Winston.
Yes, he is. Look at the Ana up here in the top left of your screen. Just free healing that entire time. And I think that was really the key to that fight that helped it go in favor of the members of Lunatic-Hai. Now we move on to Dorado. Tailspin doing great work on the Pharah through the end of the second point, but the charge there.
Catchphrase.
That's my favorite Reinhardt emote to spam.
It is great. I used that up until I got the smashing one from the Halloween event. That was pretty good too. Miro really, if Eska's the MVP of the map, or the match rather, Miro is certainly the MVP of Dorado. I mean, the way he came in from behind.
Taking out Taimu right there was so clutch with the Deadeye at the end. They needed that ultimate if they were going to make any kind of final push. And again, an overtime push on the first point helps Lunatic-Hai power through. A couple of nail biters on point number 1, but they managed to take both maps where they move through the overtime phase.
Yeah, you really can't disparage EnVyUs for going what they did on point A and Dorado. I think it was a great idea, and it nearly worked. And then point B is just so hard to hold that Lunatic-Hai gets a win. So I move into our MVP interview.